Hi guys, in upcoming CAT examination there is going to be a question odd one out and there are going to be 3 questions. In this video, please be with me. In this video, if you watch this video completely, trust me guys, those 3 questions are going to be walk in the park for you. You are going to get definitely 100% right answer for those 3 questions. That means 9 marks. This video is going to make sure that you score 9 marks. How and what needs to be done, I'll let you know. So without further ado, let's get started. Before we understand how to attempt these kind of questions, there are few pointers to keep in mind before we try to find the answer. The first point is I am going to talk about that you should avoid and what you must not be doing is that do not select the odd sentence or the answer on the basis of matching word. Now guys, I have seen this a lot and I'm sure you guys will understand, and if you have attempted these kind of questions you must have goofed up here. What happens is, let me give you an example. Of course, I'm going to solve questions also emphasizing on this point. If there are 5 sentences, of course, from those 5 sentences, you have to find the sentence that is not the part of those 4 or 5 lines. Now, examiner is going to trick you. Examiner is going to give you a sentence that sounds similar. Of course, it's not going to be so easy. That is what the test is. That is what the challenge is. And here is where students fall. What happens is examiner will try to trick you in a matching word. For example, let me give you an example. There are 5 sentences, and let's say 4 sentences are talking about X, and one of the sentences is talking about Y. Or maybe you can say that 4 sentences are talking about ice cream, and one sentence is talking about chocolate. What students do, they read the sentence, but they do not apply their logic or understanding behind getting the answer. They simply think and simply assume, okay, out of 5 lines, 4 lines are talking about ice cream or X, so definitely the odd one or the answer is option 5, that is talking about Y or chocolate. Maybe this paragraph from where these 4 or 5 lines have been taken is talking about the difference in between chocolate and ice cream. So the 5th sentence was actually the starting point. So never ever select the option on the basis of matching word. So this is a big no. So this is the first mistake or blunder that you must not do. The second is do not assume the answer before you have read all the sentences. Yes, again, this is one of the grave error what students usually do. They are always under pressure of time. They're trying to attend the question as early as possible. Sometimes they get so excited after reading 2 or 3 lines, they have understood everything. They get excited and they select the option by assuming but not comprehending. So never assume the answer before you have read all the sentences. In fact, you should never assume the answer. Your answer should be on the basis of proofs, on the basis of conclusion derived from the proofs, not just on assumption. So this is the second no, or the second point that you must keep in mind. Start by striking those sentences out or find a pair of sentences talking about the same stuff for sure. Now, what I'm trying to say here, it is a very smart way, and actually this is the way I'm going to explain this thing to you, and I'm going to solve the questions in this video. Now what happens is, let me show a white screen and then I'll explain. Let's say there are 5 lines. I read all the 5 lines. I read 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. But after reading 5 lines, I got to know, no matter what, 2 and 4, I'm just giving an example, 2 and 4 are definitely talking about one thing. That means sentence 2 and sentence 4 are in the same direction. They are talking about one thing. Of course, after reading 5 lines, you will be getting a pair. And my answer is odd one. That means that sentence has nothing to do with any of the sentences in the question. So option 2 and option 4 are gone. That means option 2 and option 4 are not going to be my answer. Now, only 3 options are there for me to select the answer. So that way I'm reaching closer towards the answer and the probability to get the right answer increases. Now, whatever understanding I've got from the option or the sentence 2 and 4, let's say 2 and 4 were talking about something, focusing upon the understanding from these 2 points or these 2 sentences, I got to know, okay, 1 is also in the same direction. Now, guess what? Now you just got 2 options to worry about. You just got 2 options to worry about, that is option 3 and 5, and then you will filter the answer. And of course, this is how you proceed. I hope you got it what I'm trying to say. If not, do not worry. We are going to solve questions in this presentation or in this video. Moving on. So, this is what the first point that you must do. Build upon those two sentences or that one pair and eliminate one more option that I've already explained. That first you take out that pair, and based on the understanding derived from that pair, you can strike out another option. So I hope you are understanding and you're trying to gauge what this video is all about. So what we are waiting for, let's proceed further. So now guys, we are going to solve or we are going to attempt three questions focusing on what we have just understood or focusing upon what just we discussed. Now, I want you guys to pause this video here and try to understand, try to find out what these sentences are talking about. Remember what I said, read all the lines. So please pause the video, read these five sentences now. And these all questions I've taken from CAT 2019. Do it now. So now I hope you must have paused the video. You must have gone through all the five sentences if you have got the answer good. If not, let's just try to solve it. I will read all the sentences. One argument is that actors that do not fit within a single well-defined category may suffer an illegitimacy discount. Others believe that complex identities confuse audiences about an organization's role or purpose. Now, this is where people go wrong. They will read two lines, they will see, okay, maybe this is about something else or whatever. I am not getting it, or maybe I got it. Do not jump on to conclusions. Do not assume. Relax. Even if you didn't understand anything from first two sentences, do not worry. Move on. Some organizations have complex and multidimensional identities that span or combine categories, while other organization possesses narrow identities. Now, guys, it is now option 2 and option 3. They are talking about identities. They are talking about complex identities. They are talking about multidimensional identities. So 2 and 3 are talking in one direction, so I'll eliminate them. But right now, I'll not do it because remember what I said, read all the sentences before you start eliminating options. Identify or identity, I'm so sorry, not identify. Identity is one of the most important features of organizations, but there exist opposing views among sociologists about how identity affects organizational performance. Those who think that complex identities are beneficial point to the strategic advantages of ambiguity and organizations' potential to differentiate themselves from competitors. Now, guys, after I read these five lines, it is quite obvious and easily you can figure out that option 2, option 3, and option 5 are talking in the same direction. They are talking about complex identities. They are talking about more than one identity or multi-dimensional identity, and because of that there are issues in the organization and whatever. Now if 2, 3, 5 are talking in one direction, that means these three sentences cannot be my answer because my answer is odd one or the one that has nothing to do with the other sentences. Now only two options are remain, option 1 and option 4. I will read both the sentences. Of course, if I read both the sentences, more or less, I come on to the point that 4 is also talking in the same direction. Yes, guys, the answer is 1. Here in this question, answer is 1. I hope you understood what I did. And there is just one way. I'm not going to talk about multiple ways you do it. Why? The way you solve parajumble, of course, there are many ways. But as I said in the beginning, I'm just going to give you one way. So that is it. Now let's go on to the second question. I want you guys to pause the video now and go through the five sentences now. Please do it. I hope you paused it, you read the five sentences. Now let's proceed with attempting the question or how to get the answer right. I will read the first sentence. Stat signal something measurable while Matic advertised free labor. But Tron above all indicated control. I didn't understand what the heck is going on. Okay, fine. Read the second sentence. Do not assume. It was a totem of high modernism that the intellectual and cultural mode that decreed no process or phenomenon was too complex to be grasped, managed, and optimized. Like the heraldic shields of ancient knights, these morphemes were painted onto the names of scientific technologies to proclaim one's history and achievements to friends and enemies alike. The historian Robert Proctor at Stanford University calls the suffix tron along matic and stat embodied symbols. Now, I get to know no matter what, option 1 and option 4 are talking in the same direction, but let me read fifth one also. To gain the suffix was to acquire a proud and optimistic emblem of the electronic and atomic age. Now, definitely, if I read these sentences, three sentences I can figure out, or at least two sentences, they are talking in one direction. That is sentence 1 and sentence 4. They are gone. Now, what is a suffix? Suffix is nothing but tron, matic, and that is what they are talking about. So, even option 5 is gone. Now, from option in between option 2 and 3, one is my odd one out. I will read both the stuff. Like the heraldic sheets of ancient night, these morphemes were painted on the names of scientific technologies to proclaim one's history and achievements to friends and enemies alike. Second one is was a totem of high modernism, the intellectual and cultural mode that decreed no process or phenomenon. Now, guys, I will not go further than this. I hope many of you must have got the answer. But here the answer is sentence 2. I'm not doing anything out of the box. I'm not doing anything extravagant. And these are not easy questions, guys. Actually, these are the questions taken from CAT 2019. As I said at the beginning, that definitely these 9 marks should be yours if you know how to attempt these questions. Let's move on. Let's go to one more question to give a solid proof to whatever we have discussed till now. I want you guys to pause the video, go through these 5 sentences. I hope you have done that. Now read it. Ocean plastic is problematic for a number of reasons, but primarily because marine animals eat it. The largest numerical proportion of ocean plastic falls in small size fractions. Aside from clogging up the digestive tracts of marine life, plastic also tends to absorb pollutants from the water column. Plastic in the oceans is arguably one of the most important and pervasive environmental problems today. Eating plastic has a number of negative consequences, such as the retention of plastic particles in the gut for longer periods than normal food particles. Now, guys, all the 5 sentences are talking about plastic and, of course, ocean. So people will get confused. As I said, matching words should not never be the way to approach or to answer these kind of questions. Now, see here, guys. Let me make a pair. Definitely 1 and 2 are talking in the same direction by because of sentence 1, not 2, 1 and 5. Two sentences I meant. These two sentences are talking about stuff eaten by, or that stuff is plastic eaten and what kind of problem they are creating. Okay, now based on these two sentences, again 3 is also gone. Aside from clogging up the digestive tract, again they're talking about the plastic being eaten by the marine life. So 1, 3 and 5 are gone. Now, in between option 4 and 2, 1 is my answer. The largest numerical proportion of ocean plastic falls in small size fraction. Plastic in the oceans is arguably one of the most important and pervasive environmental problems today. Now, of course, guys, if you read these 3 lines which we have already eliminated, it is a problem we are talking about. We are not talking about any numerical proportion. So definitely the odd sentences too. So this is the answer. I hope this video helped you to get the approach and the way or whatever you can call it to get the right answer. Trust me, guys, with little practice, I'm sure you guys are going to get the right answer. And these are not easy, difficult, but actual CAT 2019 questions. I hope you understood. So, guys, I hope you understood what I explained and you're going to follow that. Practice a bit and trust me, using your common sense, you're going to get all the questions right and odd one out, especially in upcoming CAT examination. Thank you. And yes, make sure to share, like, and subscribe. God bless you.